Hey everyone, my name is Terrence Avilas. A lot of people would say that Carl Grimes was removed unceremoniously. I'm just trying to figure out whether I wholeheartedly agree with that. One could argue that they're right, seeing as how his father is Rick Grimes, a person who, despite what Shane said when he was still alive, is definitely meant for the world. He was definitely meant to prevail. He's the best of the best in terms of survivors of The Walking Dead. So I do get why fans were peeved then and still are peeved now. What I will say is that whether his death was called for, whether Carl Grimes' death was called for or not, they did it justice in terms of the episode itself and not making it whack. In my opinion, they did that episode super good. Now, like I said, I don't wholeheartedly agree with the statement that he was killed off unceremoniously. Yeah, I don't hardcore agree with it, but I get it. One of the reasons why I don't agree with it is because although his dad was Rick Grimes, so you would think, oh, he's just a mini me of Rick Grimes. You know, he's going to be like his father soon because how could he not? It's inevitable. But there's a reason why people talk about nature versus nurture. How a person lives their life isn't entirely up to one. It's not entirely up to nature. It's not entirely up to nurture. It's a balance. And just because Rick Grimes is awesome and strong doesn't mean Carl Grimes is too. And he was. But the amount of potential Rick Grimes had from the start of the fall isn't the same potential that Carl Grimes had at the start of the fall. Yeah, they share the same DNA, but they're still different. They're still different people. It's a balance, nature and nurture. And while Carl Grimes, we definitely saw his potential to be strong like his dad, there were times in which we saw maybe he don't got what it takes. And when I think about that, I always think about the fact that he was always falling down when he was approached by walkers. Did y'all notice that? Do y'all remember that? Every time he was doing his a solo venture, and he was encountering a walker, he would always fall. One memory that stands out to me that I'm thinking at the top of my head is when his father was unconscious after having been beat up badly by the governor, and Carl took that time to scavenge. He encountered a few walkers, and while he was leading them somewhere, he fell. The walkers stacked on top of him, and he barely took them out. And that's the same way he died when he was helping out Sadiq. A walker approached him, and he fell over. So yeah, I get why people say he shouldn't have died. I get it. But I also get why he did. I also get why he did die. Nature versus nurture. It's a balance. So those are my thoughts on the situation. That's those are my thoughts on the death of Carl Grimes in the show of The Walking Dead. But like I said, they did do that episode justice. They did that episode right. If 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 there's anyone out there that disagrees, I would love to know why. Because that episode was tremendous. It touched the emotional heartstrings. It touched the perfect amount of action. It did the perfect amount of action. The music was phenomenal. But alright, y'all. Until next time, The Walking Dead forever.